Dalton, this is Dennis Clark. I'm sorry for the delay in getting this to you. I was away all last week and got back to my office just today, and I want to review your swing. The reason I wanted to down the line when I sent you another email back, and I wanted to know what your handicap was and where your bad miss tends to be. But it's 6:18 right now here in North Carolina, and I didn't get a response from you, so I'm just going to do a general assessment. I suppose that's what you're looking for anyway, of the things that I see about your swing. But without knowing actually, what your tendencies are, ball striking wise, it would be difficult. In any case, let's start with this. Your takeaway here. When you start away, one of the things you'll see in really good players is that they pretty much maintain everything here. Stay in the box, so to speak. And so you want to make sure that you don't get a little loose. One of the problems with your swing, the potential problems with your swing, is that it gets a little loose. You get a little bit wide and long and out of your sorts there with your body in relation to your arms. So I'll show you this. The club goes away from you there. It's going outside. Your hands are going away from your body. You're increasing the distance of your hands, so you're taking it. You can see where the club is outside. Now, even if this camera is not perfectly positioned on, which I think you're aiming somewhere near that big tower in the background there. If you're aiming anywhere right of that, it's very outside, but you can see where the club face tends to get. And that starts early for you. You have a big move to the left side. Your head comes up out of your posture a little bit. And you tend to take it outside. That could be a problem. If you watch really good players, the distance to the body stays pretty much the same. You see the club going here inside. And again, like I said, I believe from what I'm seeing, I believe you're a pretty low handicap golfer because you have a good swing. These are just some things to watch. And what that looks like from the side would be this. Just trying to get a good picture here for you. One of the things, no, that's not what I wanted. Give me a second here so we can get back to your swing here. One of the things I want to show you is this. Let's take this. This is Jell Choi from the LPGA Tour. And a lot of times some of the models that we get are really good. With the ladies are technically have a lot of positions that you can learn a lot from. So one of the things you want to be careful of here is you have a big sway off the ball. Now, you might be able to get away with an iron sometimes, because what this sway will do is it'll put the bottom of your swing arc back here, and it'll have you swinging up at the golf ball. If you do that with a driver, you're okay, but I'm going to assume that at times you struggle with your irons from this position, because if you watch her, I'm going to make her left-handed here for purposes of the video that we want. If you watch the rear hip, it actually goes the other way. So it's a rotation around a very fixed center there. You see what I mean by the sway? Look, your lead hip, your right hip coming off of that, and your weight getting to the outside of this foot. You do that with an iron, and you really got a lot of trouble getting back to hitting the ball consistently. You also have a lot of width in your backswing. Your body creates width. Your arms get way away from your body. You don't have much wrist set, so your swing is definitely wide. But then what you do is what you have to do. You really do narrow it pretty well. You pull down nice. You're not an early releaser. You lead with your lower body, so you got yourself back into a pretty good position. And you got good extension through the ball right there. So it's not like it's a bad thing to move off the golf ball. It's a dangerous thing with irons, but you do have to work like hell to get back to the ball if you move off of it that much. Now, the one thing I'm going to tell you about your swing here that's very obvious is that you have what we call the old reverse C swing. So you've got a lot of what we call upper body tilt back this way. And if you watch what happens here, your head goes back quite a bit from the ball. See it backing up? So you're really hitting up on everything. When you're backing up like that, you're hitting up on everything. And again, the reason I'd like to see an iron from you, and if you want to send me an iron, I'll do another quick video for you, just to show you that. Excuse me for yawning, it's been a long day. Hitting up on the ball like that, or that position where you have that reverse C look here, and you have that much axis tilt, spine tilt back here, creates what we call a very shallow attack angle. So you'll hit your drivers, you'll add a lot of loft to it, hit your driver pretty high. And you can catch a lot of thin irons this way. Now, your finish, your release point is really good. But this much, what I call hang back, this much upper body staying back, can hit some big hooks sometimes. So if you're telling me that that's what you are hitting, what I wouldn't mind seeing you doing is working getting your upper body a little bit more stacked over your lower body. That would really help you a lot. Very much so with your irons. That's what reason when you sent a face-on driver, I was hoping that you sent a down-the-line iron, because I wanted to see that. So the bottom assessment is I'd work on staying a little bit more centered over the golf ball, if I were you, and all throughout your game. I would try to make your center not come off the ball. I'd try to, what I would do is if we were working is I'd put a head cover out here, and I'd make you take it in right here, and I'd put an aim stick right here and make you take your hands and keep them almost feeling like they're going into your body, and keep you in your posture and on your left side, particularly with your iron play, because there's a lot of loosey-goosey there. Real wide with the arms, big sway with the body. And the last point I'm going to make here, Dalton, would be this: you're pretty well laid off at the top. And again, that's because you don't have a lot of wrist hinge, which is that other part of the width that I've been talking about. Okay, so your swing's wide, it's kind of laid off. And if you look what that leads to, and again, you drop it in very nicely though, but you can see where it is laid off there. I wouldn't say laid off, I would say definitely pointed left of where you're aiming, but you drop it in very nicely. I love the plane that you come down on. I love the maintaining of your angle right here. But if you watch where your club comes down, it does come down toward the heel of the driver and to the outside. So I'm assuming that some of your misses are on the heel of the club, with your path being a little bit this way. So the way to understand this is real simple. If you're pointed left at the top, there's a good chance, in your case, I'm sorry, if you're pointed right at the top. If I said left before, that's because I'm used to doing right-handed analyses. If it's pointed to the right over here is what I mean. If you're pointed to the right at the top, there's a chance you're swinging to the right at the bottom. And you may be a little bit heely in your contact because it's coming from a wide position, meaning that not only wide when you go back from the ball, but also the backswing being out there is going to cause some heel hits because it's going to swing outside your hands right there. And that too would be tightening it up. What I'd have you do, if we were working regularly at my school here, what I'd have you do is center yourself, take the club more inside, get it more down the line, and make sure that when you come into impact, you're feeling that you're real nice and tight coming through. And again, particularly with your iron game, right there is a good move. I mean, that's kind of what you want to do. You got it laid off, you drop it in nicely, but because it was so wide, it can tend to have some heel hits if that's what you suffer from. Your impact position is really pretty good though. I don't really have it, but let's call that it. And another big move that you want to try to avoid, and a lot of times this will happen when somebody's swaying off the ball, is the lower body extension. There's your heel hit. You definitely want to try to stay what we call in the box here. You know, if we had a box like this and coming down the front here, you'd want to make sure that nothing came outside that. You're lunging out toward the golf ball with a lot of lower body extension, humping I call it. And that may be your attempt to try to tighten it up, you know, because it's so laid off and so wide at the top. So where you started right there, when you come back into the ball, I'd still like to have you on the ball. Again, that would be tightening it up, keeping the lower body under you. But so your lower body, we know it slides, but it slides not only toward the target, but it slides out toward the golf ball too. So in sum then, what I'd say is this, that one more point, your right hand grip, your left hand grip for you is pretty strong. This is in a very strong position. Once again, can tend to hit hooks. I'd like to see you stay over the ball a little bit more. Set your wrist just a little bit earlier, and I want you to try to put an aim stick behind your seat here and try to keep it on that, like when you come down into the golf ball. Try to, there you go, leaning so you got a lot of weight over toward the toes there. Just try to tighten everything up. You know, at this point I'd have your wrist pretty well set, and I'd want that club right down the line at the top instead of over there. So your lower body extension starts pretty early. There's your sway off of it. You're losing your posture, and then you come off it, and then you go further off it down there. So I'm assuming, again, I didn't get an email back from you, so I don't know what your misses were, but if they're heel, that would be the reason. All right, so you may want to, again, send me an iron, and I'll take a quick look at that one for you. And that would be my advice. Tighten everything up. Okay. Good luck with it.